Good morning. Today we are packing and shipping as we are running towards the finish line of Christmas shopping, and the orders are coming in. So we have a few orders to get through. Sheila, the PA doll lady, is running towards the finish line with the rest of us. So how's everyone doing out there? Are you done with your Christmas shopping? Are you just realizing that Christmas is right around the corner? How ready are you? I can tell you that as somebody that runs a shop, I'm always thinking, why do you wait till the last minute? But as a real person, I'm that person waiting for the last minute, because I'm busy packing orders for everybody else that waited for the last minute. And then I realized, you too, girlfriend, have to pack. All right, I thought that maybe I could get these two. Okay, so this girl sold, and she is a Christy Magic Barbie doll. I believe she's from the 80s, early 80s or very early 90s, 1988. And then we have a Western Fun black Barbie that sold as well. I am gonna try to put both of them in one box if I can, without crushing their boxes. Some collectors are very finicky about how their boxes look. I just try to make sure that I can safely put them in one shipping container if I can, without crushing their boxes. So right now we're going to try our luck at, I think this is a 8x8x17. Okay. All right, that looks really good. They will have enough space in there. Nothing's gonna get crushed. I'm not gonna ruin somebody's Christmas. We don't want to do that. And we're good to go. All right. I'm a little bit out of sorts because I have a couple dolls that I want to pack on the floor over there, because they're a little bit more fragile. And then, but I have most of my stuff for my shipping station right here where I usually record. So I'm like half and half split right now. All right, so we are going to slightly bubble wrap that one. I like to fold it like a little Christmas thing right here. On this side. Okay. So when you're combining these kind of dolls, when you're combining anything that has this little plastic fragile thing, you want to put them in a box like this. Hopefully it protects them from the soccer games that are happening at the post office. So it's just an extra layer of protection that hopefully, you know, they get there the way you send them. It is a frigid morning here in Pennsylvania. So cold that the kids had a 2-hour delay. And well, my daughter went to school and her kitty has the zoomies. So she's bouncing off the walls. Usually, there you have it. If there's any wiggle room in the box, I will stuff both sides of it so that it doesn't bounce back and forth. I don't want the boxes to get damaged. I try my best to think like my collector. So here's the box. There's a little bit of space. So instead of just stuffing one space, I will stuff both and kind of keep the item in the middle of the box. Like that. So they're ready to go. This box has a little bit of space, so I'm just gonna cut it down a little bit. And I could hear you saying, don't you have a box resizer? I don't. I don't even know why I don't have one. I should probably get one, but I don't have one. I guess some of us just decide to be hard heads and make things harder than we need to. I'm just resizing the box so that I can fold it into a shorter box. I have a specific, I've narrowed it down now. 4 years in, I've narrowed it down to a certain amount of boxes that 98% of the time I could use. This is one of them, and this is an 8 by 8 by 17. I frequently use the 8 by 8 by 20. Once the post office went to Ground Advantage, I started using my boxes. I went from the shoe box that the post office used to offer us to my U-line box. My new favorite, and the one that I find the most useful for my business, is the 15, I should know it by memory, 15 by 10 by 4. The one that I use for, that will cover most dolls. So so this one I believe is going pretty close, staying on the East Coast. Yeah, it is staying on the East Coast. So shipping should not be a loss. It is so cold that sometimes this tape just kind of lifts from the box. So I am using a little bit excessive tape, but that's because it pops up. And God forbid they have to use a piece of their tape, because then you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for a whole roll. So I'd rather use extra for my rolls. Okay, so you're coming in at, we're rounding up to 3 pounds on that one. And I think we're at about 12 inches with this box now. Let's see. Nope, a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna round that up to 15. So we are at a 9 by 9 by 15. I add an inch to my boxes because if you go over, you're gonna get that nice notice of underpayment. Also, the measurements that are on your boxes is the inside of the box. It is not the outside of the box. If you measure your box, even though it says 8 by 8, if you measure it on the outside, it's a little bit more. So for that reason, I'm always adding an inch to every corner, and it's good practice. One that my coach reminds us of all the time, especially when you are working with your UPS or your FedExes and that kind of stuff. If you don't add an inch, they will, and you're gonna pay for it. So just be careful. Measure your boxes correctly. Oh darn, I wanted to do something and I forgot. Okay, so I'm going back because I combined shipped this one, so I need to copy the tracking number to my other doll. They bought it on 2 separate transactions. Get back there, get here, and waiting shipment. Okay. Next up is going to be add tracking number, copy, paste. All right. So this guy is on the East Coast, and he bought 2 things back to back. And the shipping for the first one, the shipping charge for my first one, fully covered it. So I'm just gonna do a refund for my second doll. Send a refund, and I'll do a partial refund for the second doll. Because the first one's fees covered. So I'm not trying to be rich from the shipping, but I do need to ensure that I'm covering my boxes and my bubble wrap and all that good stuff. So I don't do exact refunds, but I do partial refunds, just to try to be as fair as possible with my folks. We all have to pay it. It's just a matter of how much you have to pay, right? Okay, so there goes that one. I've said before that I like to also sell stuff that I like in my store. So, and this is one of the things that I think is pretty cool. So it is a cross stitch, and I love finding them. I especially love finding like the really old dimensions cross stitch. They're pretty. Oh, I might have forgot to do my, I hope I didn't forget my thank you card. Anyways, I'm shedding like a dog. My hair, once I got to this episode of my 40s, my hair just started shedding like a dog. So I try to make sure that I don't have hair going out as part of my things, but I'm not always successful with that part. Okay, so let's see what we got here. 6 ounces. I like to find the really old dimensions from they used to be made in Reading, which is my hometown. That's where I was raised, and I didn't know that we had a couple things that came out of it. So did you know that one of the biggest doll makers, or doll clothing makers, I guess you could say, came out of Reading? Okay, so this is 13 by 11. 13 by 11 by 2. So $5 to send it. I don't have to worry about bubble wrapping it. It's an easy, get it in the mailer and out the door it goes. I like my customers to feel special. So I put this cute little warning sign sticker on it, and it says, "Warning, opening this package will cause extreme happiness." Just part of my, you know, personality sharing. So yeah, did you know that Reading offered us Mary Hoyer dolls? She used to be based in Reading. Did you know that Reading also offered us Dimensions cross-stitch packages? And those things are so highly sought after now that you can earn hundreds of dollars by finding them. The best ones when it comes to dimensions are like your gold collection. And I so happened to hit a score this summer with a storage clean out guy. Okay, so next up we have our Genie girls, and someone bought both of them. They were on clearance in my store, so they fit nicely into the second favorite box, which is the 15 by 10 by 4. So there they are. I will wrap them up again to try to prevent the boxes from getting crushed and that kind of stuff. These girls have been in my store for quite some time, so somebody got a very good deal on them. Yeah, they went for 24 bucks for both of them. So, but they've been here so long, they have to go. I can't be storing them because somewhere down the line there is coming a collection, and I have to have enough room for the next collection to come through. We can't, there has to be a happy medium between profit and moving the stuff so that you have room for the next to come through. So these guys made it to a serious markdown, which kind of tells me the demand for them is not that great. So if I see them again, they're probably not coming home with me. And that's like an 80s repro. Now the 50s and 60s of her are still highly sought after. Those would be like your hard body dolls. Some of them have like the walking mechanism where they, you know, you move their legs and their head moves side to side. But the fact that these made it all the way down to the steepest discount that I offer means that there's just not they're starting not to be a market for them. So they will be a pass on my next collection buyout. And that's kind of how I learned how to buy some of these dolls. Like, honestly, you have to pay to play. Sometimes you buy something and it's really hot, and then next thing you know, it sits in your same concept with them. The little plastic goes towards the back so that if the box, you know, the box gets hit into the end zone, that hopefully they survive and make it home in the same way that you sent them. So I put the small bubble wrap, just a very small thin layer of it, and then I put the big bubble wrap more to try to fill in the box. So it's the 15th. I need to get it together and put in my shipping order. Put in my shipping order for Uline. I'll probably end up with another skid full of boxes, which was what happened last time. The shipping has gotten so expensive that I almost wait to the last minute I almost wait to the very last minute, and then I end up having a truck skid being delivered to my garage. The thing with ordering boxes is that, like, if you don't, for me, I have to order various different sizes, so naturally it's gonna go up in price anyways. Okay, so we're doing 16 by 11 by 5 on this one, and she's going Ground Advantage. Oh, thankfully she's going to Maryland, so that was not a loss in shipping. That was a $2 gain for that one. So and this is what happens, like, when you have flat rate shipping for most of your items. I do have flat rate shipping across my store, because I just want you to know what you're paying from the gate. That way you're not like, the other method is that it kind of guesses, or eBay guesses for you, and then the price could be kind of bonkers. I don't remember what it's called. There's the flat rate, which is what I do, and then there's the other method that I don't remember right now. So, all right, next up we have this adorable girl. She's been in the store a while too, even though, okay, so let's put her here. All right, so this beauty has what we all call rooted lashes. So you can see she actually has lashes, kind of like the girls that are getting them done now. She has her ears pierced, and she has ballerina feet. So she's very pretty. She's going home for Christmas, and we're going with our next popular box, which is our 4x4 by 12. I have everything set up in my office so that I can sit and ship. I can literally just not, everything is within reach for me. I have a little white table that's next to me, and it holds my mailers. I have the boxes between my desk and the shelf, and I can literally just sit and ship. The only time that I cannot sit and ship is when I have my big girls, because, well, for one, I can't even sit and hold them. So, all right, so there she is, and then you just need some stuffing. So it's a perfect box. This box for me works for all my fashion dolls, all the Barbies, and anything that's not Barbie, but that is about 11 to 12 inches. Are the items that go here. Also, I do figurines and that kind of stuff. Those are like my little side projects. So any little figurine that I think would go really nicely in the doll room, if I think, okay, I could see this in a doll room, I will grab it. And so I usually will pack them in here as well. So she should go for under £1. And she also, no, she didn't make it to the markdown. Okay. She is heading to Kentucky. I think that next year I might, 5x5 by 13. I think that next year I might want to buy like one of those big United States maps, like the ones that break it down, like when you're looking at a crime TV and they have like all these little strings going and connecting the dots and that kind of thing. I think I would like to get one of those, and instead of having like my background that I have here, just have like one of those big United States maps, and just like put little dots to see where my girls are going. They're mostly going to Texas, and Texas, California, Delaware, because they ship out international, Oregon, Utah, and those kind of places. So All right, the next orders that I have are my fragile girls. So I need to go grab them. I didn't have them here because I was thinking I was going to do it on the floor, and now I'm thinking, I should probably just do it here. Give me a second. I will be right back. And if I knew how to edit, I would edit this out, but I don't. So here we are. Okay, we're back. All right, so we have a China head doll that is going home. I don't know what I was doing when I listed her, but I severely underpriced her, I think. So somebody got a great bargain. I was just not paying attention. Her arms are replaced. They're newer. Her legs appear original, but they are in really mangled shape. Her body mostly appears original, like it has like the, what do you call that? Like the sack where the potatoes come in. Has that kind of, let me see if I could show you. For whatever reason, they used to dress these girls in like 55 different layers. So it's kind of hard. She has some dust coming out. Anyway, so I don't know if you can see it, but it's that burlap, like that burlap type of layering. So because she has the porcelain hands and that kind of stuff, we need to do the same routine. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will take the arm and wrap it. If you could double up your wrapping like that, it will make it a lot thicker and it will provide more protection. All right, so that's one. I don't have the moving thing. I still haven't even devoted enough time to figuring that out. So alrighty. So there she goes. She has her little boxing arms. Because this like wood type material is flaking and that kind of stuff, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it. Doesn't look too good. I don't make the determination for taking it off and that kind of stuff. I leave my collectors figure out if they want to fix it or do whatever they're going to do with it. That is for them to determine. That is their choice. My business is to make sure that they get to them safely. All right, so next up is the shoulder plate. And the shoulder plate is all porcelain on these guys, or all bisque on these guys, or these girls. So it goes from here to, for this one, to about here. So we need to make sure that we are protecting that. And some of these dolls, you can take off their clothes, and some of these dresses are so fragile that like if you move them, they essentially crumble. So that's what this is. So we're gonna leave it alone and just go about our business. All right. Let's lay you down because I don't like the possibility of you tumbling, so we're gonna leave you. All right, so she's semi-ready. However, it is Christmas season, so we need to add another layer to her. I'm gonna see if I could get her into the 15 by 10 by 6. The 15 by 10 by 6 is just a little bit taller than my other one. It remains the same dimensions, just a little bit taller. Her body is cloth, and for that reason I could bend her. And so long as I can safely put her in here and have some wiggle room, I will do that. Yeah, I don't know that I could trust that enough, because once I put the bigger bubble wrap, it will probably not be enough room. So let's try our tall boxes. That is in 8 by 8 by 17. According to my mail lady, oh goodness, have you ever like been looking for something and not found it, and then you find it right in front of your face? Well, that just happened right now. I was looking for my 3-inch tape gun, and it was right behind the camera. All right, I feel a lot safer with this one. So there's a lot of fluff that you have to put in to get her to safely get home, but now's not the time to get really close with your shipping. You have to give them enough wiggle room to survive the war. So enough wiggle room to survive the war. So I go back and forth with the tape that I use. I like to use this for my boxes, but for the packaging and like getting the girls ready, I like to use this. I'm thinking that my collectors may be of that age that maybe some of them like have arthritis in their fingers, and it's hard to get that tape off. The eBay tape comes out a lot easier, and you know, they don't have to sit there fighting with the thing to get it out. So just some of the things that you have to think about depending on your customer base and that kind of thing, you know. All right, so let's put you in here. Let's get your legs folded. All right, so she is squarely in the middle. There's enough room on both sides, and so she has enough room on the sides. I'm giving her the best chance to survive the soccer games at the post office right now. So we put her thank you card in there, and she is ready to go. somebody sent me an estate sale that is happening in Texas. I guess it's happening recent or soon. And they have a lot of dolls. I would love to fly out there and get into the Hunger Games of dolls and just bring them home for you guys. But right now it's the holidays. Okay, what did I say? I think this is a 9 by 9 by 18. If it was any other time, and like I said before, she's going to Texas. I know it. Yeah, 8 by, okay, so 9 by 9 by 18. And this girl is traveling to Texas. Texas is having, Houston, Texas is having a really awesome doll estate sale. And my inner child is just screaming, I just want to go. I want to go so bad. But the holidays are here and mommy duties call. So we're going to stay put and we are going to mind our other business, which is being a mom. All right, so that girl's ready to go. Okay, next on the agenda is this girl here, or maybe guy, I don't know. Uh-oh, we got your wig out. There. All right, and this baby is loose. It needs to get restrung, and by restringing I mean like the arms are okay, but the legs are a little bit crooked and they're just kind of dangling in there. But I'm sure their new owner will have no problem. This girl comes from the MK Browse collection, and you can see it because she did all of us a favor by labeling her dolls. She has this little label, that little label pinned to all of her dolls, and that little label correlates with the identification that she found at that moment when she had bought them. So she did us all a grand favor, and it's one of the main reasons why I bought her collection, was because she did do that. Now this girl has like some little moth holes on her skirt and that kind of thing. I'm gonna go ahead and take this pin out but leave this with her because her owner created that for her, and we try to keep them as I try to keep their journey as authentic as possible. So depending on how they come to me is usually how I try to move them forward. So she is number 448. You may have, if you've been here for a couple videos, you may have seen me talk about the golden box. So the golden box is the thing that Miss Browse gifted to us, the rest of the community. She decided that she was going to you know, document her dolls, and gave us the gift of documenting them. Let me see here. Okay, so that's the wrong one. Okay, if I'm correct, her number says 448. So 448 is bisque head, jointed body, made in Germany, 3/0X, all original. Now think about the love that Miss Browse had to have for her dolls, that she not only created the little thing here, she also went to like a CVS or a store and like developed a film for her dolls. And she gifted us the information that she could find at that moment. So this photo was taken back in, let me see, I can't even see, April 1988, and it was processed by Kodak. How about that, guys? So when I say to label your dolls, I mean, think about the fact that you had to go to the store to get this film developed, and if the picture didn't look right, then you would go back and get it developed again, and that kind of thing. That's the kind of love and dedication that she had to her dolls. and I just want to honor her work by continuing the legacy that she created for us and that she, you know, gave us. So I have not updated this little cue card yet. I will update it now because she was with Miss M.K. Browse. And this information I got from her granddaughter. I interviewed her as she was leaving go some of her collection. Honestly, her granddaughter could have put these on an auction and gotten so much more money, but she seen my ad and she interviewed me as well. And she said, I feel that you have the love and compassion that my grandmom did, and for that reason I want to sell them to you. So I was just like, I'm supposed to not be emotional, I know, but anyways, the tears were rolling. So she was this girl was in Mrs. Browse's collection. We can safely say that she was in her collection at least from 1988 because that is the physical evidence that we have. So I will say 1988 to 1996 is when Miss Browse passed. Her estate went up, and she there was quite a few dolls that went and moved to different homes at that point. But from 96, Miss Alice, her daughter, Alice V, was the caretaker from 1996 until 2025. So she safe kept them for all of us in the community to enjoy, and now I have to pack her safely so that, you know, the next person gets to keep her for however long. Sheila, purchased her in May of 2025 at Lewisburg auction. And she is new caretaker is question mark. She was sold on eBay 12/15/2025. So that is her history. That is her history as far back as I can trace it. And I'm trying to continue the dedication that Miss Browse had for her girls. I'm going off screen for a second so that I can make a copy of it. Okay, we're back, and I like to write so this is what we call in the doll community as provenance of the doll from 1988 till present. Keep her journey alive. And then I sign it. Okay, so this is what's going to travel with her. I keep the original one, and the reason I keep the original one is because I am learning, and I learn every single day. The doll the doll community is so expansive. Yeah, the doll journey is so expansive that it's really, you can learn something every day. Perhaps that's why I'm constantly intrigued. You could barely see on the copy that it was April, so I'm just gonna write below it, April 88. Okay, I will send that to my customer. So that goes with her if I have it. There's many times that, you know, you're buying stuff and you don't get their provenance, but if I have it, I do try to send it to keep them authentically as real as possible. Again, this is a journey, and like keeping their journey alive is like, that's one of the biggest gifts that we can do for the next generation. For those of us jumping in and trying to figure it out, for those of us that like historical value to things, and just, you know, there's just many reasons why keeping their story alive is so important. Dolls tell stories, dolls tell history, and sometimes they tell good history and sometimes not so good, but it is history, and we want to keep them going as they were intended. So I think my scissors are done with me for this year. I think that is one of the supplies that I will need to get before. All right, so I'm stuffing her head, and the reason I'm stuffing her head is because her eyes, as you can see, her eyes open and close. And as I've said in previous videos, there's a little weight inside of here. That little weight, that black dot in there, that is a metal piece. And if you do not stuff their head, that little weight thing will shuffle. And if it shuffles, it may break the bisque. And then you are guilty of ruining the journey that they've been on for a long time. And I don't want to be that. This video is going to be super long, so you're probably not going to see this part of it, but this is what shipping on a Monday looks like for me. So we're going to keep it running until my until the memory dies. Okay, so now you see that when I lay her down, her eyes don't open and close, and that's because her head is stuffed. This is what I mean by needing restringing. It means that somebody will go into her body and just put in a string. It hooks onto the neck, and then she'll be nice and tight again. Okay, so let me see if she fits into, first of all, let me see where she's going. Let's start there. Depending on where she's going, you can extra pad or double box or that kind of stuff. Indiana. Okay, so not too bad. Let's say she's probably going to end up being 2 pounds, 8 by 8 by 16. Okay, I could probably get her into a priority mail without having to go too much over. Okay, this box is solid. It's like really good quality box, but let me see. Okay, this one is solid, but I don't feel safe. And by I don't feel safe is that her head is at the very top, and it's not the season. It's not the season to test our luck. So that's a 4x4 by 12. That will not work for today. We're gonna try a 4x4 by 16. I do have a bunch of these, although I don't have too many. This one's not as commonly used as my other ones. But they do come in handy. All right. She safely fit in the other one, so I know that she will safely fit in here. This one just happens to be a little bit longer than my other one. All right, so she is ready to roll. So first things first, let's put her provenance in there. Put my little thank you card, put her little provenance card. And that one I'm gonna over tape because I want to make sure that nothing gets wet or anything like that. We've been having snow left, right, and center, so okay. Same thing as with the China head doll. You want to protect this bisque. That is what this is called. It's called bisque head. And you want to protect that as much as possible. Very fragile. Doesn't take much for it to snap or create what we call hairlines. Right, so we are really almost tripling our thing here. Her body is composition. It means that it's not as fragile as, say, the bisque, but it's still breakable. So we still need to wrap her up. Let us not forget the wig. Not that I ever do that, but you know, just saying. I have to put it on the side because I don't want that to roll through. All right, so she fits nicely into this box, the 4x4 by 16. I'll just show you what it looks like. Her provenance envelope is starting to get in the way, so let's get it out of there. Okay, so that is what it looks like. She has quite a few inches on the bottom and a few inches on the top, which is perfect. That's exactly how I want it to be. That gives me some wiggle room to try to save her even more. All right, so I put the bigger bubbles on the bottom. Her wig is not being cooperative right now. You know what? I'm gonna do one of these. I'm gonna do one of these situations right now because all right. I put bubble on the bottom. And now she has a plastic bag on top of it. okay, she is safe, she is tight, and if she doesn't make it home, I did everything I could. I have tried my best, and that's all you can do when it comes to their journey. Just want to make sure that this box is like safe across all corners, because like I said, we've had a lot of snow and stuff like that. So, and this one's a little bit higher value than the other ones, so I want to make sure that her box is as tight as it comes. She's about 2 pounds with all the extra stuff. So I mess around with this tape, and then I wonder why my fingertips are all chapped. It's because I'm leaving fingerprints all over the place. Okay, I have full confidence that I have done everything possible for her. So she's at 2 pounds, and we're going to change our dimensions to 5 by 5 by 17. 5 by 5 by 17. She will get home before Christmas, and I have economy shipping. However, I just don't trust the journey, so I will go ahead and put her up to priority, because I want her to survive the soccer games that's going on. So she's getting up to priority. Alrighty, in God's hands now. Okay, so I have a few smaller things to pack. So the video is long enough. I think I've covered quite a few different dolls that that I work with every day, and kind of like how I pack different girls for their journeys home. If you stayed this long, then you see all the craziness that goes into it. If not, I will see you on the next one.